Hey there, I just thought I'd leave a review about this mower. This is the RYOBI 1 Plus 13-inch mower. It takes an 18-volt battery from RYOBI. It comes with a 4-amp battery. If you have a 1.5-amp battery or something like that with other RYOBI tools, it will take that as well. The 4-amp definitely gives you more power. But let me just give a quick review right now, and then I'll have a longer video that supersedes this beginning part to explain more if you need it. Here's the long story short. If you have a small yard, this mower is great. If it's a small, flat yard with short-ish grass that you're not doing heavy cutting with, this is a very good mower to use. It comes with a bag to catch your clippings or a mulch plug to make sure that your clippings can be mulched back onto the ground. So overall, good review. Now, here's the downside. This battery dies fairly quickly. I would maybe do about a 20-foot by 20-foot area of simple grass cutting, and this battery would need to be recharged. You'll see more in the video that follows if you need to look at more. So here's the thing, this takes about an hour and a half to charge fully. At least that's what it was here in my house, So just be aware of that. I had to cut, stop and wait, cut, stop and wait, and that was kind of frustrating. So if the mower works for you, you might need to get 1 or 2 more batteries plus an additional charger just to make sure that you can keep up with the mow. If you have a big RYOBI bunch of tools, having more batteries isn't usually a big deal. So I just wanted to leave that intro, and then for the rest of it and the assembly and more review, just watch the rest. Thanks.
So I've already put it together sort of already, but this is the first step. So when you receive it, these handles come detached from the mower. Basically, this bottom part is not connected. These handles come separate, and this handle is loose right here at these parts. So these are unscrewed and basically handles folded over. So what you have to do is simply slot these handles into place like this, and when this bolt is pushed all the way in, you can hand tighten both of these side handles. The second thing you want to do is you want to just basically have somebody rest the left side of this handle against the connection piece here, pop in a little screw and hand tighten one side, then pop in the screw, hand tighten the other side. That's all you got to do. Just make sure that you keep this little power cord that's powering the mower, that's powering the handle, to the side of the handle. This is not designed to be underneath this at all. Now, if you are the kind of person that actually wants to mulch their grass, my grass right now is a little too long to be mulched. It's going to bog me down a little bit, so I'm actually not going to mulch it. But as I keep it cut regularly short, I'll mulch it. But to get this in there, it's actually really easy. It just fits right into that slot right there. There's this little nub at the top there that it fits right onto, and here, I'll put it in and you can see what it looks like, the final product. It's very straightforward. First, it obviously goes in just like that. This little handle here looks like a handle, and I just slot it all the way in, and you'll know that you have it all the way in when you can't pull it out unless you actually lift this up to pull it out again. So it's pretty straightforward. Just pop it in like that. If you guys mulch, you need that mulch plug. That's how you do it. Next is the bag here. This one had me confused for a little bit, but I just had to look closely at the picture here. If you notice that this is how the wire is supposed to be placed with the handle on top. And then I kind of just used my intuition to realize that the long part of the bag goes like that. So that's how I know it has to connect. So basically, I'm going to sit this underneath the wire frame like this, and I'm going to connect it all by bringing these up here and just fitting it on like that for all the sides. So far, I've got the top linked up, the sides linked up, and I'm going to just finish the other sides here. Hopefully this work in progress helps you if you're having trouble. And there's the final product. That's what it looks like, all connected and linked up. Now, to put the bag on, it's actually really straightforward. Just open up the back, and you'll see these slots here on the left and on the right. That's where the bag actually sits in there. You can see the slots here that attach to it. Just simply rest the bag on the base here, down at the bottom, and put it on those slots, and you'll be good to go. Make sure that the mulch plug is not plugged in this time. You want to have an opening there from the blade to the bag. If the mulch plug is in there, all the grass shavings are obviously going to be surrounded by the blade instead of going into your bag. So there you have it. My bag is now placed on. I can pop that back, and now I'm good to go. So before you start mowing, you obviously want to put the battery in, which we'll do in a second, but you also want to make sure you set your depth gauge. You can see up here you have a 1.5 inch is the minimum height, up to the 4-inch height adjustment there. So, I mean, for me, it's gonna be pretty straightforward. I'm gonna just pull this handle out and put it all the way down to my liking for my height. Pretty straightforward. Hopefully you can find this handle pretty easily. Okay, now the next step is to lift this battery cover here and pop in the battery. Okay, so I'm going to pop the battery in. It just fits in the slot, pretty straightforward. Now, this little red thing, it's called the start key. If this is pulled out, you basically are protecting kids and minors, obviously, from accidentally starting the mower. If this is out, you cannot start it. So make sure you have this and pop that sucker in there. But now everything looks good. I'm going to close that. And now it's simply coming back here. If you look at the instructions, it's pretty straightforward. To start, just make sure you push and hold the button, and then you pull the lever. And it starts right up. So in this part of the video, I want you to kind of just be able to hear the mower, what it looks like, sounds like, especially when I hit all this heavy stuff over here. Again, I'm at about 1 inch and a quarter of height. So here you go, here's what it sounds like with an empty bag. So it's actually not that bad. You can hopefully tell when you hit some rough patches, you have to kind of lift the blade up to release it, which also is an indicator that it might be plugged up in the back. So sometimes I just kind of look at the bag, see if it's full, and if I need to, I'll actually reach in there and pull the grass out and realize that it's time for me to actually change out this bag so you can see how much grass I just got from those cuts of this heavy grass. Now when I was pushing it, hopefully you can tell that it's not an automatic mower, so you're going to have to push this manually. This is light. It's very easy to push. The times you're going to come into problems if you come across something that's maybe really hilly, like bumpy. It might be hard for you to kind of push it around, or if you're in heavy material, you kind of have to force it. But generally speaking, it's actually pretty light to move around a yard like this. My 4 amp battery just died, so let's take a look at how far it got me. It was able to get all of this in here. So you can see the long grass line. All that's been mowed. And this side over here has been mowed. And then back here behind my home, all of this has been mowed. So it's actually what I expected. Let's see how far the 1.5 amp battery can get me, and I'll mow a different section of my home to get a better perspective. I was able to get this far on a 1.5 amp battery. You can see the difference of kind of grass I'm cutting. This grass is almost 6 inches tall, so I'm cutting quite heavy grass right now, but I was able to get this far on a 1.5 amp 18-volt battery. So full disclosure, I actually ended up returning this mower because it was not sufficient for the lawn that I have. I have a little bit less than 1/4 of an acre that I have to mow, and my grass is thick, and I don't always cut it on time. And so the mower itself, that battery, I mean, changing it 2 or 3 times to mow is just not efficient for me. But if you guys have a small lawn, this is probably the perfect mower for you. I've read a lot of reviews about it. Because it's so light, it's really good if you are, you're older, you don't feel like you're that strong. This is a mower that you can handle, especially for smaller lawns. So positive review. I'm just full disclosure. I did not find it applicable for my lawn. I ended up having to return it and exchange it for a gas-powered mower, which I was used to when I was growing up anyway. So that's my review. If you have any questions or even comments, I would love to see what you have to say in the comments below. I know that battery-powered everything is coming out now, and we want to make sure that we kind of get on that bandwagon with the products that are applicable to us. So hope that helps.